Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do all the save file modification stuff for Balatro on Linux. I've seen this fairly well documented for Windows, but not really for Linux. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. So here I'm in my test profile, and as you can see I have nothing unlocked. And if we come in here into my stats, all of this is 0 because I have not played any games with this profile yet. But we want to modify that. So before we do any save file modification, the first thing I would recommend doing is coming over here into click your settings, or right click on Balatro in here in your library, and clicking backup game files, and choosing a just back these up. You should always back your stuff up before you modify anything, just in case if you mess something up, then you might accidentally delete your save file. So the first thing we can do is save file, just normal save file modification, which is, changing that stats menu, pretty basic stuff. And then later I'll show you how to do stuff like unlock jokers, all that kind of stuff with the dev menu. So first off, you're going to want to have 7z installed. So if you don't have that installed, go do that. And then you're going to want to find where you have your Balatro save files stuff located. And that's actually not going to be under manage browse local files, which we will be there later, but that's not what we're looking for right now. So actually what we're looking for is it's just going to be different depending on which distro you're running. But for me, with Ubuntu, it's home.steam, Steam apps, compat data, and then you're going to want to find Balatro's ID, which I believe is 2379780, pvx, drive C, users, Steam user, app data, roaming, Balatro, and then here you're going to have all of your profiles and your mod data if you have any. So if you have any mods, you're going to see that stuff here, and you're going to have your settings. And then you're also going to see these numbered directories, and these are your profiles. So here's my main profile, and whenever I went on earlier, you saw that I was on profile 2, so this is one we're going to be looking at. So in here, we're going to have a couple different files that mean a couple different things. Meta is kind of just like the metadata about your profile, like when you last played, all that kind of stuff. Profile is what we're actually looking for, which contains all the stuff about what we're going to be trying to change, like your stats, all that kind of stuff. And then if you're in the middle of a run, when you were whenever you're doing this, you'll also see a save.jki, which you can leave that alone unless you want to mess with your current run. You can kind of go in and like mess with your run and do stuff like that, which I might show you how to do in a future video, but not today. So the first thing you'll notice is if you try to open this up, you can't read it. It is not in plain text. So first things first, we're going to have to decode this, and I have a Python script to do this in Pastebin, which I will show you guys. I'll have these linked down in the description. So we have encode and decode. We're going to need both at some point, but we'll just get decode for now. So I'm going to copy this, and oh, did I close it? Nope, it's right here. We're going to create an empty file. We'll call this decode.py. And you're also going to want to have Python installed. I should have mentioned that. So we have this, paste this in. This is all good. I mean, this is a very simple script. You can read this over if you're not too sure. And then you're going to want to just run this script. So I'll open a new terminal here and run this. Python 3 decode.py. And we'll write this to profile old.lua. And we can format this really quick and paste this back into there because we're going to need it to be in there in a second whenever we put it back. So here's all of our profile data, and this is just going to be all of our stuff in the stats menu, basically. So you can see all your stuff here. So here is these are all very self-explanatory. How many cards have you discarded? How many dollars have you earned? How many planetariums have you used? You can change any of that. Memory, that's just your decks and stuff. Here's like your wins, losses, how many vouchers you bought, how many consumables you've used, and as you can see, this stuff is all empty for me. So if this stuff is empty for you and that's one of the things you're trying to edit, you might want to go into a game and just like do it once, like use a voucher to see how that stuff is formatted here. Here's your unlocked challenges, your completed challenges. Of course, I have none because I have never played on that profile. Your stake that you're on, and then here's your actual progress. So challenges, this just means there's 20 challenges. I've of course done none. There are 4 different like completion things, which I don't remember what there are. It's like completing your collection, completing your Joker stickers, a couple other things. And so those are 2, and then there's another 2, and there's basically just say this. I don't think actually appears anywhere in the game. Stickers, of course, there's 1,200 stickers, 120 possible like stake deck combinations. This is how far of the game you are completed. And I believe this is actually not, I think this is actually expressed as a percent, not like times 100. I don't think you have to multiply. I think I'm literally, at the start of the game, you have 0.005% completion. And then I believe these are just kind of the whole collection. So your jokers, your blinds, tarot cards, all the stuff you can discover. Deck usage, so how many, like all the decks that you've played, how many times you've won, how many times you've lost. Hand usage is like how many times you've used like 2 pair, for example. And then here's all the stuff that appears in the stats menu. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12,345. I'm going to save that. And then now we need to put it back into our profile.jkr, which is what we're going to use this Python script to do. We're going to come back and create a new Python script called encode.py. We're going to open this up and save this. All right. And now we're going to want to run this. And again, you probably want to make sure you have your profile backed up. This is kind of like the main binding thing after you do this. If you don't have your stuff backed up and you lose your profile, then it's just gone. You might be able to recover it off the Steam's cloud, which could be another good idea, is maybe disable your Steam cloud before you do this. But we'll go ahead and do it. And this will write it to here. So now whenever you're ready to continue, you can delete your scripts if you don't want them anymore. You can delete your old profile, which is called profile.jkr, and your profile_old, which was just kind of for us to see what was going on. That's not actually necessary. And then to make this like actually load this as your profile, you're just going to rename this to profile.jkr. And now if we launch Balatro back up here really quick, give it a second. Here we are. We come into stats. We can see that our money is modified here. And there are a lot of tools that you can use to do this for you, but sometimes it's just nice to be able to go in and do it yourself. Especially if you don't have access to the internet, you can just get those scripts and do it whenever. Now the other thing that you might have noticed is not saved in there is your jokers. Now I actually don't fully understand where all this stuff is stored. To my understanding, it's in, I think it might be in game.lua, but I'm not 100% sure, because then that wouldn't really be profile specific, so I don't know. I have never looked in meta, it might be in there, I don't know. Anyway, this is obviously our collection, and that was obviously not in that file we were just looking at, so if you want to unlock these, what you can do is you can get the developer menu by holding tab, which we can't do yet because we have to enable it first. But the way we do that is now we are going to want to come over here, and we're going to want to go to browse local files, and we're going to need to get it out of the balatro.exe. So the way we're going to do that is, first of all, we're going to come into here, terminal, all right. And so for this part, we're going to be using 7z. So if you don't have that, go get it. I might have said that for the last section and then we didn't use it. I don't remember. Anyway, you're just going to want to, the part that we're looking for is conf.lua. So you can say 7z x for extract, balatro.exe, conf.lua, and that will bring this out here. And as a side note, this is very interesting. If you copy and paste balatro.exe out into like a folder over here, let's open a new window here to keep this separate. You can just do 7zx balatro, maybe. Oh, cd as 7zx balatro, And this will just put everything here. And this is some pretty interesting stuff. You've got all like the challenge information here. You've got the game. This is huge. There's so much stuff in here. Look at all this. There's all like the Joker information in here, and you can actually go in and change this stuff, which is very, very interesting. But anyway, if you just want to go look at that, and then you can, of course, you can recompile that as an executable. But we're gonna want to go back to Balatro, and we have our conf.lua here, config.lua. We can open this, and we're gonna want to change release mode to false. Save that, and then we need to put this back into our executable, which we can do with 7z-a Balatro conf.lua, I believe. Yes. So now we're gonna delete this. We don't need it anymore. And hit play. Oh, and I accidentally activated my mods. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. And now you'll notice that if we hold tab, we can open this dev menu here. And there's a bunch of stuff you can do in here. But if you come into your collection, you can unlock and discover these cards. So if you just want to go unlock everything, like if for whatever reason, I just did this the other day, I accidentally lost my profile from a Steam cloud conflict thing that I didn't resolve properly. And I wanted to come back, and I had like most of the Jokers, so I just came back, and I remembered which ones I didn't have, because I was only missing like 5, and I just looked on the wiki, and I was able to fully go in and unlock all of the ones that I already had. So this is very nice for like save recovery, or you know, if you just want to have like a cheaty profile, because you can still get like achievements and everything on here if you really wanted to do that. Because normally like the unlock all disables achievements. I'm almost done here. I'll show off a couple of things you can do with the dev menu. We have so many Joker unlocks. Let's pop up a thing for every single one we do. So now, you might have noticed there's other things in here that we can do as well. So if we come in here and play one of these decks, we can come in here, and there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Oop. Okay, now we gotta actually click through all this. One moment. I'll cut this out. Alright. Oh, we're on black. I thought I was on red. Okay, whatever. You can hold tab in here, and you can just like instantly win. If we come back to the main menu, you can use this to, you know, continue to advance through stakes and stuff. You can go up and just do this up to gold stake. So there's a bunch of interesting stuff you can do with here. You can like mess with the background. You can re-roll, give yourself money, all that kind of stuff. In my experience, this stuff doesn't really work because it ends up recalculating it anyway. Reset. There's Jimbo. You can make Jimbo appear. We can talk. And the other interesting thing you can do is if I come in here and I just play a quick game. Just get into the shop. Well, I guess I don't even have to get into the shop. You can come in here to your collection. And oh, I'm missing one. I missed one. Whatever. Oh, here it is. And you can just, if you hit 3, you can give yourself the Jokers from the collection. Like this. Which is very cool. So that pretty much wraps it up. I've showed off a lot of what you can do. Profile modification stuff. If you need any more help, if you're trying to do something specific, you can ask me down in the comments, and even if I don't know how to do it right now or I didn't explain it, I'm sure I can figure it out and get back to you. So again, if you have any questions, just ask me, and thanks for watching.